Hello and welcome. It's Trucking Answers. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Traffic and weather on the twos. It's 40 degrees here and partly cloudy, I guess. It was snowy a little bit earlier. Otherwise, traffic is really good. Welcome, everyone. There was a 64-mile-long convoy, or was there? And what is the point of it? Does anybody know? Can someone tell me? The top truck stops, independent and chains in the USA are rated, and I have the solutions. The road check's coming up very soon. There was a stolen box of human heads. Do you have that box of human heads? Yeah, stolen out of a truck. Tifton, Georgia has to apologize, and we have fuel and everything, which is going up by the moment. I'm going to have to put a ticker out for it. It is going up so quickly, $3.99 a gallon here for gasoline at the moment. So that's what's happening and all of those kind of things. Let's see here. IDI Ford V8 was first the other day, followed quickly by Million Miler. Today, Georgia H.W. Bush was first. Love to see the executive branch showing up. Thank you for being here. George Costanza is here unless he doesn't pass his physical, in which case he'll be put on the sidelines. So George Wilson is here. Let's see. Kelly Patterson, good morning. From California. Wow, nice. Should be warmer here this week, though. Ansel and Penelope Rain Blossom Smith with one of the longest names on YouTube. Hello. John M. is here and not first. Unfortunately, Trucker Hershey is waiting to get loaded in Arizona. Love it. John M., what's going on? Today's sponsor is, let's see if I have it over here. Today is sponsored by the Standard Oil Company. Standard Oil for all of your oil needs. Now in convenient fiberboard cans. Get them at your local repair shop. Standard Oil. That is today's sponsoring the show. I appreciate that, Standard Oil. Thank you very much to that. TSI 999999 is here. Thank you for being here. Juan is here. No work today. Got 300 to go back home. Oh, how does that work? Tell him I'll go back home every day. Columbia, Georgia, Green G, a teal GP Transco truck at the Jubits. All the way out the west side. Nice this morning. They exist, but only west. They won't send them around here for some reason. RN4L. Sin City from the Bay. I do like it. All right. Silver Chair will be working at the Louisville Truck Show. No clue where you're going to park. Well, I mean, there is a map there on the website. There's a map on the website of where to park if you're bringing a truck. Although if you're bringing your car, just park with the rest of us in there. So, good morning and happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Safe travels to you. By the way, I'm listed on the website now, which surprised me the other day. So if you go to the Mid-America Truck Show on Saturday on the events and education, I think it's called Events and Education, there I am. So it's official. So, thank you. Grafton is here. Steel Horse, so hungry. Hot dog. Yeah, let's get those wieners in now. It's after 12 already. I mean, there's no reason we should be working on our fourth meal of the day already. Juan was wearing shorts on Saturday. Today I'm wearing snow boots. Yeah, I was not wearing shorts Saturday. So they prefer not. The people there was a petition and there was a whole thing. So good day, everyone. George Wilson, you sponsored by Meyer. Just as much you talk about him, I should be. I'm over there all the time. I didn't go this Sunday, but normally I'm there at Meyer on Sunday. Look, I like the place. Why pay more? That's what Meyer says. And gas at Meyer today, $3.99 still. I thought they'd go over $4. So. Sin City from the Bay, 565. Oh, nice. That's super nice. I guess it's nice to have a tiny car at that time, right? Boy, that Sonic's probably going up in value every single day. Good morning from Washington State. Leo's Madness. Yeah, is it cold over there? What is happening? In Chicago, it's $5 a gallon. Really? Nate Train, $5 a gallon in Chicago. Well, you know, that keeps the crime down, though, and they use it to improve the streets and everything, so that's pretty good. $5. I don't think I've ever paid $5 for my car. Some really rude people in the convoy, some not at all. Steel Horse. Yeah, I mean, they all have these disparate views because they don't really have one spokesman, and there's 50 million convoys. One's got 30 vehicles in it. There was supposedly a 64-mile convoy that looped D.C. 64 miles? How far is the loop around there? And, they might have just been other trucks caught up in it or whatever. So I just don't know what they want. Stop the vaccine mandates, but there aren't any federal mandates, so I don't know what's going on. Uncle D's Productions, gas is $4.40 in Pennsylvania. Time to protest for better pay. Oh, very nice, isn't it? Yeah, $4.40. That's pretty good. So I feel pretty good at $3.99, I guess. So, Horse, I asked one guy what he was protesting. He said the vaccine mandate. Asked if he needs it. He already been thrown, if he needs that since it's been thrown out. Right. There is no mandate. So I guess he's saying in case there could be another mandate, I'm going to protest that in advance. It's good to get your protests out in advance. You got to protest something that's actually happening, though. I think that's a problem, too. New Jersey bound. Pennsylvania gas was $4.16 for unleaded. All right. It's going to depend where you go. Maybe if you go to Joe's gas station and arcade parlor or something. Truck with T-Bone, how's it going? Besides the obvious, it's going great. Every day you wake up is another good day to be alive, and that is true. Ken P, good afternoon. Mark and Gracie. Gracie was just crunching some food over there, so she'll be happy to hear that, huh? I don't know where she went off to now. I did my first check-in at 3:41 today. Wow, I'll be done for the day by 2 p.m. See you at Matt's. All right, I'll be there. Yeah, I got to figure out where I'm going to be both of those days at 2 p.m. I got to figure that out, and we'll get that posted out there. Because I think that's an easier way to find people. We'll never find each other wandering around. 526 at the Pilot north of Atlanta. Usually Georgia has good at gas price, so... Or is that diesel at the Pilot there? Diesel here on Friday was $4.94. I would have looked Saturday, but I never got out of the yard. Mark's on the website. It's official like John. I know. I saw that. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm really going to be there. I can't believe it. Blues Trucker, greetings, Mark. I heard that the CDC had traced an outbreak of all this that spread from the Valentine's Day party at the manhole. Well, you know, people like to be very friendly at the manhole, so sometimes things are going to spread. It's nice that they reported it at the CDC. We did have some CDC officials there at the manhole, so they were apparently doing swabs and stuff. Speaking of wieners, how many trios of wieners have you given to England drivers? I've never found 3 England drivers at one place, but that's always the thing. If 3 of you get out of one truck, I'll buy each of you a wiener, although you may not need another one. But absolutely. But I have never found one of those 3 bunk trucks together anywhere. I assume they never stopped driving. If you go to the employment side of the truck, so I'll be the guy with long hair and holy jeans working a booth. All right, which booth? And we'll come and see you. Absolutely. Or let me know, and I'll come over there. I will go through the employment part of it, of course. Because I plan to be there 2 days, so... RN4L, yeah, love my Sonic. Yeah, look, like almost 40 miles to the gallon on the highway. Pretty nice now. People are like, wow, look at that guy. Now say you can tell somebody's rich just because they're driving a pickup truck around. They can start it. Now people start their truck now. As soon as they start, they take off. I have a buddy that put over 40 fuel in his hybrid for the first time yesterday. Wow. Tell him to get rid of that car, too. It's embarrassing. $40 in a hybrid. Well, I mean, I could. The Sonic holds 12.3 gallons, so it's $4 right now. So if you came in on empty, you'd be right at $50. I'd be at $50. I never go that low, but you could. I'm at C.W. Carter. I'm in Nebraska picking up a load and destroyed my daughter box of Omaha steaks. And fuel here is $4.60. Wow. $4.60. Nice. Chicago EPA requires special formulated fuel to local EPA standards. Yes, because that's one thing the city wants. Because when people are outside looting, stealing, robbing everybody, shooting everybody, we can't have them getting asthma problems. Pennsylvania has some of the highest fuel taxes, thanks to Tom Corbett. He appreciates that you noticed. Diesel's over 5 at the truck stops and $4.60 at regular gas stations. That's sweet. Don't you love that? A lot of things spread, especially at the manhole. Their things are spreading there. Had that problem. I saw that 64-mile convoy, and I thought, okay, so 64 miles. Really? Is it 64 miles? Or they just see every truck that goes by? Because there's a lot of trucks. So I don't know how. I mean, that would be hundreds and hundreds of trucks. So I never saw one that long anywhere on the way. Maybe. And I will tell you, I've seen more cab overs in the last couple of weeks than I've seen in probably the last couple of years in these convoys. Old International, flat nose International with the 2 square headlights like Schneider used to run all around. I saw a few of those. Nice. Juan, you think a price like this continue to rise, some companies can go bankrupt? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to have to raise pay for people to keep up with all the prices. And then, companies that can't do that will lose employees. It's a problem, not just trucking, too. Fuel the Pilot was $4.16 unleaded. That's not bad at the moment. And if you're owning a truck, you should have a surcharge that, where you beat the surcharge on your fuel mileage. This is where we get this long-nosed Pete problem. Unless you're making a lot of money a mile or whatever. But your surcharge should keep up at least with the fuel, and you ought to beat it, fuel mileage-wise. $20 for the Harley. Yeah, well, it doesn't get much better mileage than my Sonic, I bet, right? In town, what's a big Harley get? 35, really? I mean, seriously, they don't get, they're not super on gas, right? And the only reason you put 20 is because it doesn't have a big tank. I just, 3 drivers 2 days ago in Utah waiting for a load. I should have taken a pic. Yeah, I never have seen 3 get out of one, other than if they wanted to, I guess. You should ask them to take pictures inside the truck. You'll be at the Smithfield booth. All right. All right. Well, I'll see you because I always go through the employment booth thing there. Fuel in Illinois is $4.98 a gallon. Whew. Used to, I guess, I just thought people are going to think I'm really old. You used to be able to go in the gas station, give them $5, and you'd get a half a tank. You know, I'd get in my Oldsmobile, and the gauge would go from a quarter to 3/4 on $5. Remember, Mark, when you're at the podium and you're the trucker's voice and hope? George was, oh my gosh, right? It's stressful enough. I don't know if I'm the trucker's voice and hope, and they do have a topic for me. I can't really go. You know, people have said, Mark, say this or that. I got a topic there. They're having me to come in and speak on a topic. So I don't know how far off topic I can get here before they get the big hook out and roll me off the stage there. And I don't know what the stage is going to look like. So we'll see. I'll be there Friday, though, checking it out. Okay, Bandit. What do you know about the KC Logistics, Southern 63 cents a mile? They run a lot of stuff in Jeffersonville because I see their ads, and they seem to run hourly down there. I didn't know they paid mileage. They do a lot of automotive hourly because I've seen a ton of their ads. We've had a few people here look into going there. Million Mile, best company to drive for is Smith since they pay best and have the best equipment. You do get a nice truck, and since you don't have to fill it up, it doesn't matter what kind of mileage it gets, meaning you're not paying for the fuel. Chicken hauler to skateboarder raining in Decatur, Alabama. What's picking up down there? And I'm afraid to know. My boss is suggesting an avenue of Convoy just get a significant amount just to park a day. What does that mean? What am I missing? They should start leasing Amish horses and carriages for loads cheaper than diesel. Yeah, I mean, hay is what, $5 for a whole bale of it. Brawley, California, fuel $6. David, wow, that's pretty great. $6. Even the Sonic then would be $70 from empty. A little over 70. That's crazy money. What are people doing with these pickup trucks with 36-gallon tanks? I mean, I can't imagine just our E150, which conversion van. I think it had a 27-gallon tank in it and only would get 10 or 11 in town, really. Mark for president? Oh, that'd be impressive, wouldn't it? That'd be something. Mark for president. I can't imagine all the paperwork you have to fill out to do that. Did you get a picture email I sent earlier? If it came today, I wasn't on yesterday or today yet. So, but otherwise it would be there, right? Generally Tuesday through Friday, but sometimes earlier. And then I had a lot of problems this weekend, as we saw, so I didn't get on as what I wanted to get on, certainly due to issues. It's so frustrating. Oh, steel tubes going to southern Georgia. All right, that's not bad. So that wouldn't even have to be tarped, right? Depending on you wouldn't have that problem, right? Always at the flatbed company I was at, you had to tarp everything. It didn't matter if you picked it up outside. It didn't matter where you picked it up. Isn't that great? Hey, who cares where you picked this up? You better tarp this. Better get this load tarped. The number 3 independent truck stop is the Boise Stage Stop. All right, the Boise State. Anybody been to that place? That's the number 3 voted independent truck stop in the U.S. In place of a Convoy, just get a good amount of drivers to park for a day. Lower the fuel prices. John, yeah, that's the thing. All this, it's much easier to make a larger impact on the country, honestly, by not delivering anything. Boy, that does make a big impact on things when nobody gets their stuff. But people, if you're willing to drive across the country, spend all that money or whatever, and you can't haul loads or you're doing that, just don't work for that time. Wilbon 1879, good afternoon, Market Trucking Answers fans. Keep on trucking, keep the country rolling. We're going to try to. We're going to try to keep rolling as the fuel price goes up. Is anybody's company saying anything about that? Like, watch your fuel or any of that kind of stuff? They haven't said anything here yet, but has anybody's company come out and said, oh, we're going to really be closing in on the fuel prices and all that stuff? Okay, so Paul loves the Boise Stage. That's the number 3 independent truck stop in the whole country. That's 2 or better than that. I don't get out west, so I was in Redding, California this morning at the FTA truck stop. When I went to bed last night, fuel was $5.92, and it was $6.09 this morning. Yeah, look, you can get it and then sell it the next morning and make a profit on it. You could have bought it at $5.92 and sold it for $6.04 and made money overnight. Crazy. Stage stop is good in Boise. All right, potatoes are their specialty. That's the way I understand it. I'm not sure about that. This place loaded me nose heavy. Love it. And they said my load was 18,000, ended up being 41,000. Luke, yeah, because they probably told the company or broker or whatever, oh, it's 18,000, so only charges half or whatever. And then it comes in at 40-something thousand pounds. John M., your company's keeping a watch on fuel usage, but what are they doing about it? I mean, they're keeping a watch. Are they mandating you do anything different? I assume they will here eventually. Although, I don't know what I could do. The truck won't even idle. They're just telling me don't fuel in California. That was always policy, right? Usually going out there, it was 50 gallons at max in California. At a few places, they didn't want you filling up. You were supposed to fill up on the border of California before you went in. Werner said, watch your fuel and idle time, and then said, though we are able to manage this storm, looks like I'll still be idling. Yeah, well, if the only way that they give you is to idle and not an APU, then what are you supposed to do about it? If you need to sleep and be comfortable, you should be comfortable, at whatever your choice is. Now, I do think that people should turn their truck off, and I've always thought this. If you're fueling the truck, turn it off, for God's sakes. It's 60 degrees. The other day it was 60 degrees out. You're fueling, and goober heads come in and their truck is sitting there running. Why? Turn the truck off for 5 minutes, 10 minutes while you fuel. That isn't necessary. Steel Horse, not a peep about fuel prices yet. I think some companies will do better than others at it, too. That's going to be the last thing I want to do is aggravate drivers. Hey, don't idle unless it's 90 degrees. You don't want to be doing that kind of thing because then suddenly you don't have drivers. So maybe companies that do better on profit or have a good fuel surcharge built in shouldn't have any problems with it, really. If companies are running efficient trucks and have a good surcharge built into their contracts, they shouldn't have any problems with the fuel. Paul Vines, haven't been out there in a decade, but also love the Triple T in Tucson, the Jubits and Whites and Raffine. Yeah, the Jubits is not on here for that. Sorry. But neither's the Triple T. And so, and Whites is also not on the list this year, or this time. Also, Twin Arrows. Don't forget about Twin Arrows. Also, a great truck stop. I use the fuel book app to find the cheapest fuel on my route. Ken P. Does that help? How much does it help? I guess if you're buying the fuel, that is a bigger deal, too. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your Monday. Absolutely. Every day you wake up is always a great day, especially at Fleet Nav Systems. You can turn the sidewalks off up there, it looks like, for the rest of the winter now. I think we got it made. Going to be 50s here for a week. I think we got it. That's happened to be numbers times broker lies about weight. They say it's in the teens that it's 40,000 Wilbon. Yeah, I think to save money, right? They're just saving money on it. Oh, well, we'll just broker it out there for 18,000, and then it's like 22 pallets at 2,000 pounds a pallet or whatever. And even a company driver comes on the Qualcomm, 8,000 pounds. I'm like, this is way heavier than they said. You come out of there, you're 78,000 pounds. Mr. Somewhere, I'm late, my Wiener was missing. What happened to it? You couldn't go purchase another one. A few years back, I had a Suburban with a 48-gallon tank. That would be a $200 fuel bill, Kelly. And probably then, what did it get, 9 miles to the gallon? Can you imagine that now? I mean, we have a couple people with large trucks. One guy has a F-250 that he comes to work in. So I'm like, holy mackerel, I cannot imagine commuting in an F-250. Or I couldn't imagine doing it at $3 a gallon. Keep it at 65. All right, do not run unnecessarily. That's fair. You renovated his contract fuel surcharges. Oh, yeah, okay, so they're going to make it back anyway. And I would say keep it at 65, but as a company driver, they're going to have to limit the truck to 65 because I would go the speed limit. Unless I'm a beneficiary of some of this fuel savings. See, that's how I look at it. So, say the truck went 70, and I'm in a 70 zone, but they want me to go 65. What is my benefit to going 65? I make less a mile or an hour because I'm making less miles. So, I need to, I need to get some of that money. Harlem Mac, can you speak on lease option? I'm not a big fan of lease options. Go buy the truck yourself from a dealer. Never have the person that writes you your paycheck also lease you your truck. How about that? I drive a 2022 Volvo and my transmission blew at 54,000. Well, here's one benefit. It's under warranty. What are they doing, though? That's going to be a long repair, so they better get you a loaner or something. Or your company or somebody. Unless it's your truck, then, I don't know if a loaner comes with that. That's a good question. Are there any owner operators that buy a new truck? Do you get a loaner if your truck is down for service? I just sold my Nissan Frontier for a RAV4 1 week ago. Good timing, no doubt. Right, triple your fuel mileage right when gas is going to be $10 a gallon here pretty soon. Fuel book includes any discounts that have been registered with the company. Oh, all right, perfect. So it can integrate. How about that? That's like a college word. Steel Horse, leasing is a big gamble. Do you have any breakdown? Son, already started. Can you work with any vacation? What are you going to do about health insurance? Yeah. Health insurance, super expensive. You don't have any more vacation? Nothing. I consider it buying a job. You're just buying your job. Does anyone know Shorty Campbell's truck stop near Rosemont is still in business? Shorty Campbell's. Hey, what's up? I can imagine some guy who's like 5 feet tall with a big cowboy hat. What's up? I'm Shorty. Can't stick around today, Fleet Nav Systems, but want to at least give you a shout out. I hope you have a great week and stay safe. Thank you, Fleet Nav Systems. They'll pay more fuel than they pay me. Is this the end game? Oh yeah. Well, fuel is always a big expense, right? And eventually they're going to start paying more in fuel than you're going to get. But they get that back. A good place will get that back in a surcharge. White's is a Petro. Oh, so it would be on the other list. Fuel costs more than I do. That's sad, isn't it? James Morrow, hey Mark, getting my hazmat on the 15th. All right. Let it go in 2012. All I have to do is pass the test, fingerprints, and background. No additional training. Right, because you already had it. You're somebody that already had it. You're just basically putting it back on there. People that never had it, they're going to have to go through this approved training program now. Redneck Trucker, what's up? Stuck on the road with food poisoning. Waffle House is to blame. Yikes. I don't know about that. Waffle House is so delicious. Usually it just fights in there, not food poisoning. I'm stuck in Hermiston, Oregon. They're going to start looking at it today. Hopefully they can't get it. They can't get it done by Friday. I'm a company driver. Oh, well, then the company ought to put you in a motel and pay you. That's my opinion. All right, they ought to pay you, and for as long as you're sitting there, or they should get you a truck. You know, the company can get a truck or whatever. I don't know how that works with Volvo or any truck maker if it's new. I'm just curious because of transmission. Who knows how long that could take to get done. You should certainly be getting a motel with your own, that has your own room and getting paid. I have a 350 with a V10. What's that? And 8 miles a gallon, but it's all right because I'm rich. All right. No, okay, no problem. So ask everyone in welfare. I mean, everyone that likes Biden. Yeah, well, look, if you're rolling a V10, you know, a Dodge, which would be a Dodge around, I kind of feel bad for people right now that are keeping those. I don't know how many V10s are on the road still. They haven't made that for a while. It's a problem when you go out to the old Meyer. And at $3.99, apparently I'm doing pretty good at that. Number 2 independent truck stop, the Big Apple in Joplin. Number 2 is the Big Apple. I never actually heard of that place. The Big Apple in Joplin. It must be out by all the Petro and all that out there. So, in the Chrome Shop Mafia place. I heard of that it become a Petro. Apparently White's is a Petro now, so it would be on the other list, but it's not on the list, so it didn't make the list anyways of the best places, the best company pet places. Number 3 company is Little America. So that is the number 3 for chains is actually, I think what they called it, chains. 90% nitric oxide reduction, by the way, by 2031. That's the new proposal. So how much DEF will you need to do that? They're going to have to put in, 700 gallons of DEF to keep the trucks within emissions. I cannot imagine what they will cost at that point. Oh, the Awful House. That's not good. The Big Apple. Are you kidding me? No. Steel Horse, do you know of the place? And what do you think? Not great. It's the number 2 independent truck stop in the country, as voted by drivers. What is the problem of it? We're kidding you. Yes. Oh, yikes. Now that gets what? Gracie's like, what? What are we talking about again? Right. Can she get a waffle there? I'm not sure. So I didn't. Chicken hauler to skateboard. I didn't get my hazmat before February 7th. Now I got to spend $90 to take stupid online course. Right. Tax deductible, by the way. But yes, you'll have to take your online course to see your tax expert for details. Now you'll have to take your course and then go take all the other stuff if you need it. I mean, why are you getting it now? Do you need it for something? Flat Highway says truckers will annex Louisville at the end of March. Really? annex. We're going to annex Louisville. Nice. The show's been, this is the 50th year. This is the 50th anniversary of Mid-America, so I don't know what MSNBC is trying to say about it now. Are we there to lay siege to Louisville like they said about Canada? Sam Dillsaver, my brother has a 2010 F-250 diesel. Well, he was starting to look at trading it now. Gas price is looking a lot more. The diesel should do better, but still horrible. But once people get into a pickup truck, they seem to be like truck people. Like, ooh, I'm a truck person, so what are they going to get? That is any better. People should, do better on gas, especially if they're by themselves, but they generally don't. Awful House, always open and always awful. Hey, you can't beat their waffles. Don't get gas at the manhole. Be careful there. Fortunately, they do have the DOT physicals there. Leo's man descending my last mortgage payment and taking a long vacation celebration. No longer a slave to the bank, only to the state. Exactly. We never really own it, though, do you? Because the state keeps sending you forms to fill out. Maybe you can call Dave Ramsey with this story. Dope law. Can you buy a Flying JRT a gas card personally and use it for your car? Is it cheaper than buying gas with cash all year round? I don't know. Like a prepaid card? Probably. I don't know if you'd get any kind of discount, though. Gas should be a small part of most people's lives, really. So, are people, although I guess it's 6 something in California, it could be a problem. Can't get gas to the manhole. Pipes are extra wide. It just goes, well, it depends on how long you've been going there. It depends if you're one of the new people. I'm about to be one of those truckers who refuses GPS tracking. The stupid GPS are a headache and is slanderous. Why is it slanderous? How is the GPS tracking app slanderous? Dang it, that app is saying things about me that are untrue. Petition Gracie up her into the mic Saturday till the show ends. That'd be great. That people might like that better, honestly, and probably looking at her would be more to people's liking as well. So, if we could get that going, I think that would be great. She'll be less nervous. CW Carter, we got to figure out a way to get an algorithm that can replace brokers. They ruin profit margins for owner-operators and they are expendable. Well, I mean, I always like the idea of somebody brokering their own loads, actually becoming a broker, like maybe your spouse or whatever becomes a broker. I don't know. They really aren't needed. I see that. Home is smothered and covered. After a night at the bar at Waffle House, it comes out scattered and splattered. Yikes. I think you can use your Flying J rewards card to get gas in your personal car. I've heard that some of these places will let you use your rewards card to fill your car up. So if you're getting it on the truck, you could fill up your car. That might save people a few bucks. I want to trick out and customize my Ford Fusion. Any ideas or websites? I don't know if there's any customization on a Fusion that much where people are going to be, like, oh my gosh, look up my tricked out Fusion kind of idea. What do you know about the Maybach? Not much. Never drove one. I've never found one either. Birch Chili. I don't know. Piedmont, South Carolina, 509 at the pie. Oh, sweet. Even through the South. By the way, the number one independent truck stop is Burt's in Wellsville, Kansas. Anybody know it? It's only been open a year, apparently. Burt's voted number one. Aviator Trucker, do you really think a terrorist would first get a hazmat to hijack a flammable truck? More government encroachment. Yes, I will get this, and then I will go take it from the truck stop, where it's already running, and steal it. Just another way to get another $100 out of you, and now even another 100 for the classes. A friend works at a fuel hauling company, and they are home daily with $300 a day minimum as long as you work Monday through Friday. That's not bad. $1,500 home every day. Not terrible. When is the next Mark After Dark, John? It depends the next time I have to wait a long time on a Friday night. I'm trying to get that switched, though. The GPS turned itself off and changed the status by itself, saying I left or completed the delivery without me doing it. Well, as long as you get paid for it. I don't know if that's slanderous. I mean, it's just technology. I have that other GPS, that ankle thing, so it always seems to work, though. Preach son, I try to. We'll try to keep it going on that, certainly. Yeah, see, I'm trying to get them out, to get me out of there sooner. I'm tired of waiting longer and longer and longer. So I told them last week told the company here that I'm waiting so long in Cincinnati that it's making me tired. And so if they're going to continue to have me just sit there, then I'm just going to leave and go to the truck stop and park, and they can come and get the load from there. and expedite or have a power only come and get it or bring a couple drivers down to bring it back, because it's just too tiring sitting there and then being expected to drive well into like dawn. It's light out, I'm coming back. I said that's not going to work. So we'll see what that does. And I might have to do that sometime because, sometimes they'll be like, whatever, and then so you have to do it. You have to make your problem their problem. And that's how I'm doing that. I'm not going to sit down there, 4, 5, 6 hours to pick up 2 pallets, ridiculous, and then be expected to drive back all night. And because that aggravates me, I'm going to make it their problem. So as soon as it's their problem and I park, and then they have to send 2 drivers on a 6-hour round trip to come and recover what I have so it can continue on its way, they'll kind of get the idea. What's the best GPS for hazmat routes, Harlem? I never was on a truck GPS kind of person. Even today, I would still only use a phone for GPS and just would use the truck atlas in the back for hazmat routing, stuff like that. I just don't trust it enough. I see too many of these videos and police problems where people followed a GPS and went off a bridge or down a weird road. So I don't trust it. I know people do use them and love them, so people could say, what they're using, but I don't trust it. Not enough. Mr. Sim working this Saturday, Mark? No. We won't be on Saturday for a while again. Hopefully not in quite a while. I've learned a lesson again, and until I forget that lesson, we will not be back on Saturdays. I tried using my Pilot Rewards card, but fuel in my personal car, and they wouldn't let me. Also, you cannot buy alcohol or tobacco or lottery. What's the point of having the card? I mean, what's the deal? They should let you. If you can put diesel or what, you can put other stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's some actually kind of law about it in that state. They need cognitive testing for England drivers. Nice. Cognitive testing. People don't know. When they go to England, they don't have any idea. They think it's going to be all, dandelions and decaffeinated coffee, and they don't realize. It's 5:08 at Skippers, Virginia, Dash Cam Sam. I guess we're doing good here in Indiana. Robert Johnson Maybach Group Trucking Company. Oh, I thought. They're claiming $1 per mile for solo. All right, so what suburb of Chicago is this place based from? That's what we're going to say. Especially a place like Maybach Group, which is probably, as soon as Mercedes hears about it, they're going to have a problem with it. You can't name your company something like that. And likely the trucks look kind of like that or whatever. I thought we were talking about the car, to be honest with you. But where's this $1 a mile company? The Steel Horse, right, 1099, exactly. Which Chicago suburb is this 1099 company based out of? Is it Downers Grove? Is it Bensonville, Waukegan, somewhere around Chicago? Second week in a row, I pick up a trailer with 2 bad tires. Luke, isn't that great? I love doing that. Where I get how about if you go in and get a trailer that doesn't have any clearance lights on it? Isn't that awesome? Hey, because the person brought it in during the day, so you don't need to check the lights during the day, right? That's sweet. That drop and hook seems great, but it isn't all it's cracked up to be. Have you heard of the Fuelbook app? I have not. Is there a good app that you could use as a DOT clock? No, I've never actually heard of it. People do mention it, but I haven't heard of it. And a good app that you can use as a clock, your ELD. I mean, seriously, that's what I would use on there. There are plenty of apps that will run a clock for you, though. Sounds like your company's counting down the days till you move. Now they're always like this. I mean, it comes in waves. It comes and goes. It's a constant problem with dropping and hooking here where people just bring stuff in and leave it because there's no incentive to not just leave it. So that's always how it is at these places where you get this drop and hook problem. I had a truck that charged the batteries to 17.5 volts flat highway. That's a lot of voltage. I'm shocked it did that. The company told me to keep going, so I pulled into a weigh station to show them the message on the problem. The truck got fixed that afternoon. See, I don't like doing that, only because if they write you up, so that you can get the truck fixed or whatever, that could get you points. And so that's the only reason I don't like that. Although that's a good idea. That's a lot of volts. You're going to blow your batteries up. Given inflation, $1 miles the future for employee drivers. Mr. Summer, oh yeah, I do see that coming. There are places that are creeping up to that now, legitimate places. Pilot will start selling winterized coffee. It includes House. Hello, Mark. Happy Monday, Jeffrey Smith. That's great. Coffee with House. Now improved House. A trailer where the sway brace has dropped and rubbing against the tires. How about where the bags are down and the tires are rubbing against the top of the trailer? How about that? I've gotten those. Our entire household budget has changed in the last couple years. Prices up, pays up too then. Yeah, but it's not quite going up at the same rate as inflation. I mean, a year ago, gas was like low twos. Now we're at $4. That's a huge deal even for people that don't go that far. So, you know who's going to be happy this spring? Electric bike manufacturers, that's who. Otherwise, no. People that have like a Geo Metro or something, their car's so valuable. The tinier the car, the way more valuable it will be. The number 3 corporate-owned, I don't know, actually they said chain truck stop, was Little America. So number 2, Loves in Bliss, Idaho. Number 2 is in Bliss, Idaho, the Loves. All right, what do you think about that? Has anybody been to the Bliss Loves? Why is it so great at that Loves? Why is it so much better than any other Loves truck stop? What do you think about Quality Carriers? Anybody here from Quality Carriers? Tankers, right? I think they have a terminal here in town somewhere. Supposed to bring clocks ahead. That's right. This weekend, move your clocks. I need a wall with more room up front to mount it. Yeah. I mean, we just changed them like a couple weeks ago. Now we're changing them back again. Can we stop doing that? We don't actually change anything. We're just changing clocks. I don't think it's necessary anymore. They keep saying here in Indiana, well, kids going to school, they wait for the bus. Kids don't wait for the bus. They have all their parents drive them and sit them there and all that. There isn't any more of that here. How hard is it to drop a raggedy trailer and then call road service and have them come and fix it before the next guy's to get it? Carlos, well, you'd think that would be easy because that could have been done. They actually don't make you wait for it here. So you could drop it and just call and leave. Tell them where it is. They'll fix it. That could happen. How about this? How about if you pick a trailer up where the lights don't work, you don't take it? Here's an idea. How about that? 5125 West 123rd Street. Okay, that figures. There we go. Alsip by the flea market. Right. Steelhorse 7.5% pay increase this year. Oh, nice. So you're getting a pay increase and they don't mind the fuel? I guess it just depends on the company, right? If you have a decent company. Plus, they're way expanding there. What goes up must come down, just like 2008. We recovered from that. Oh, absolutely. Look, we'll recover from it. We're good. Roderick's from Quality Carriers. All right, what do you think? Because it is blissful. Is it? Is that Love's blissful? Maybe the Roller Ranger hot dogs are good over there at Love's. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Love's, why this Love's? In Bliss, Idaho. Of all the chain truck stops, that's number 2 in the whole country. Paladin, we don't move their clock. Oh, that's right. You are one of the weird states that doesn't move their clock, actually like a normal person. I think Hawaii also doesn't change their clocks, for their interstate drivers, which is funny because they have an interstate. But that's right. That's true. No moving your clock there. They keep talking about it, and they talked about it again this year. Hey, let's not change our clocks. And then they're like, oh, well, we better not do that because farmers, sometimes they'll say that farmers have to be out in their fields. I'm like, if you're in a field, what's the difference what time it is? Can't you go out there? And every time I look out in a field here in Indiana, of which there's tons of them, this big farm equipment, they have 80 billion lights on them. There's 4 rows of huge lights that are lit up, lights half the sky up. E.T. came down here. Richard Dreyfuss was going by, for God's sakes. Trucker Hershey just got on. All right. We'll recover, but it'll take 30 years. Yeah. I delivered to West 122nd Street in Alsip on Wednesday, so you're right by there. Nice. Right by the flea market. Is that still up there, by the way? I think so, right? The big flea market off the tri-state. Kelly, in Chilima, Oregon, there used to be a truck stop with a Catch nightclub for a restaurant that would sell you a 500-mile cup of coffee for $10 because it was guaranteed to get you 500 miles. Nice. Probably put 2 of the Bumblebee pills in them. Kelter Rooster Travels, a happy week to everyone and a good Roller Wiener Monday. Always ready for the Wieners on Monday. Manhole on Saturday, Wieners on Monday. We need to build a wall with the broken trailers. How about that? There's so many junk box trailers. This trailer's all rusted out and everything. Seriously considering moving to Florida and hauling plants out of Lakeland. Is there a plant place in Lakeland? Where would they go? Or would that be Prime? Prime Floral? I don't see too many of those. I like the Loves in Huntington, Indiana. Do you think it's better than this Loves in Bliss, Idaho? I mean, considering how many chain truck stops there are, to get voted like number 2, that must be like the best one ever. In Tillamook, Oregon. Tillamook. Getting here late, Ryan. Is Standard Oil sponsoring today's live stream? Well, let's see. The sponsor is sponsored by Standard Oil. Standard Oil Company. Keep your internals lubricated with Standard Oil. So, yes, they are, as a matter of fact. I like moving my clock when it goes back an hour. I call it snooze time. You get all that extra hour. Quality Carriers has 2 terminals near Portland. The company drivers seem to be happy, but owner-operators seem sketchy. They're sketchy. Well, maybe their pay is lower, so they can only get sketchy ones. It's called Swap-O-Rama. That's right, Night Train, right. So that thing is still there. That thing has been going on since I was a kid. So, like 15 years. That's a huge flea market. Daylight savings time used to wreak havoc on my paper logs. Yeah, people never know what to do. I'm wondering what the log will do. Oh, but it'll be Saturday night. I won't be out working. Does it mess with the ELD or anything? While the Loves and Bliss sounds nice, if they ever build a Loves in Climax, Michigan, that would surely take it over. Yes. Kel Fulmer Logistics. Remember those 4 rows of lights used with the Super 8 cameras? Super 8 cameras. No. I had a Polaroid and I also had a 110 with a flip flash on it. Never did the Super 8s or anything like that. The Loves and Bliss Idaho is pretty big. Well, that'd be one reason, right, J Trucking? But is it great inside, too? Do they keep the place clean? Does it have a lot of showers? Carol Fulmer. Oh, Carol Fulmer has a terminal in Lakeland. All right. Well, if you can live there and get plants out of there, whatever's close by, especially now at $5 a gallon at some places, it would be a good idea. I heard a new noise on my truck, William. The driver told me it was my driveline cooler. I couldn't find where it's at. Your driveline cooler. Nice. Where's my driveline cooler? I would recommend you take it to the dealer and ask them where it is. Trucking Journeys. Apparently Smith is having a hard time getting truck parts. I was told a lot of our trucks are broke down waiting. Yeah, we get that problem too. Get something, drivers, we have several drivers that are in loaner trucks that have been in them for weeks. They just can't get a part to fix the truck. It needs something, usually some DEF thing. But some of them have other problems and they can't fix it. So they just rent trucks. I knew a girl named Bliss. She was a nightmare. Donkey bite. All right. Who remembers Fat Harvey's? Hey, I'm Fat Harvey. Truck stop at Canyonville, Oregon. Pantyhose Junction. I don't remember Pantyhose Junction. I can't imagine that being a truck stop, especially in California. I'm sure that would get closed now. The Swap-O-Rama is still there. It used to be $5 to get in, I think, to get in there. Somebody should build a decent truck stop in Southern California. You mean other than in Ontario? Sam, the Loves is still, and Bliss is new. I had my reefer shut down when I was there, and they dropped everything to get running. I like that one. All right, see, so customer service, a lot of parking. All right. There's a federal vaccine mandate if you cross the border with Canada. Well, yes. The solution is to not cross the border with Canada. I mean, if everybody stopped crossing the border, they would have to relieve that mandate because they couldn't get parts. We couldn't get poutine, and they couldn't get whatever they buy from us. Most companies kept their paper logs on home-based standard time. Yes. We do, and everybody does. I think Loves keeps burning down their old location so they can evict the roaches and start from scratch. Every time a Loves gets like way at the bottom of some list, it accidentally has a grease fire. Uh-oh. Another grease fire. Is the Loves an old Williams truck stop? I don't know. Oh, did they buy a different kind of truck stop? I've always wrote a note on my log total, not 24 because of daylight savings time. Steel words. Did anybody ever question you about that? I mean, I'm one of the people that only puts down what's mandated by law, which is city and state of change of duty status. So, because I don't want to give them more information than they need. So, I never write anything more down on there. I'm just wondering, has anybody ever said anything to you about it? My terminal with quality is out of Baton Rouge. I've been in lease purchase for 4 years. You're not complaining? I'm a campaign making a guarantee of $8,000 a week. Been on it since May of last year. Well, why don't they advertise that? If you're on that, I mean, unless it's only some little thing they do, I really never see or hardly ever see a guarantee for lease, purchase, or owner operators or anything like that. If you're on a lease and you had a guarantee, some kind of guarantee, that might make more sense then. Always the downside was if there's a problem, you're not going to make any money and you're going to be in the hole. But if they have a guarantee, that's another story completely. Bosselman is king besides Iowa 80. I like the Bosselmans and all those truck stops that were out there, yes. Jackson Bend was a good one. R.I.P. Gone. Loves and Bliss is Night Showers, a lot better than the one in Burley. Well, it depends how many parking spots they have, I guess. And how often drivers are showering. Maybe they think in Idaho, because of the weather, they don't have to shower as often. I tried driving nights for company I'm with currently, but nights and weekends, the shift runs like a problem. Yeah, it depends. Nights get really long once you sit around for hours in the middle of the night. It's very dragging on you, especially getting in your extreme upper 30s. It becomes unsafe, and so then we have to make some kind of change in the system here, in the matrix. The fire was Denny's fault. Denny's also burned down the pilot in Indy some years back. Well, maybe that's what the Loves is doing. They're like, we need to burn this place down. Can we get some kind of deal with get Denny's in here? Sounds like daylight savings time doesn't offer much interest. No. Yes, on paper, one of the guys didn't change the total 24 hours, and that day did total 24 hours. Oh. So people aren't adding it up correctly, and so that's why you're saying, all right, well, this is why, because it's not my fault that people change clocks for absolutely no reason that does no good, like it's 1910. Jay Yanis, goodness, thank you. I thought about reviewing Southeastern Freight Lines roller wiener funds deposit. I appreciate it. Southeast Freight Lines. Yeah, I haven't seen them out in a while. You know, a lot of these companies that we used to see on the road, like Prime, I don't see as many of them anymore. What happened? You don't see them running as many ads, and I just haven't seen them out on the roads. I just see them going back and forth. Now it's all Amazon trucks. Every other truck going back and forth to Cincinnati from Indianapolis is some kind of Amazon, Century class, which I saw one last week. I'm like, wow. It had a different colored hood than the rest of the truck, too, which I always enjoy. Leases have guarantees. The company guarantees to get their truck back. That's true. They guarantee you'll not quite make the end of it. But I mean, seriously, if a company had like an $8,000 a week guarantee on a lease, that's a different story. You're like, all right, now I got a guarantee that I can hang my hat on. That's different. How does Denny's cause a fire when their eggs are over easy or always half raw? They never change the oil. Yeah, they don't even heat the grill up, for God's sakes. This flaccid bacon they're putting out there, I never met a trustworthy guy named Denny. Denny. That $8,000 guarantee is going to go right in the fuel tank since I see $10 fuel in the near future. Wow. Hopefully a company has a strong fuel surcharge that should continue going up no matter how much it is. And I think it would be possible in some places to see $10 a gallon, which would be really incredible. It'd be like Europe here all over. We'll have to start wearing berets soon because of it, at the $10 a gallon. The number one chain truck stop in the country is voted is the Pilot in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. Of all things, I couldn't believe a Pilot was number one chain truck stop. What do you think about that? Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. Anyone living in Chicago area construction season coming up, try to get on the extra board with the Union dump trucks. Greco, Plot, Rossi. What the heck? That's too many Italian words. Union dump trucks. Extra board with Union dump trucks. How would you do that? How would one go about doing that? Yeah. I mean, look, Dashcam Sam, if they're not going to turn the heat up on their grill, they're going to be giving you a bunch of flaccid bacon. And nobody wants their all bacon all flaccidy. I mean, let's be honest. Let's just be honest about that. I mean, we can talk real talk here. I'd like to call someone a truck stop in Grand Island, Nebraska. The Grand Islands were good. I think that was one of those truck stops out there where I ate the hamburger and got my picture on the wall. It's probably down now. That was some years ago. But you had an hour to eat the hamburger, and you had to choose two toppings, which I didn't understand. Fries and a drink for $39.95. But if you ate it within an hour, you got it free. It was 2 pounds. And I ate it and got a free hamburger. A family friend of mine were talking about Amazon Prime. I told her she's overqualified to haul for them, even though CDL had a clean driving record. She needs to get an old truck, like a Century or something even older than that, maybe. An FLD, maybe. The Pilot in Pennsylvania must have a massage parlor. Yeah, what Pilot is being voted the best chain truck stop in the country? That certain Pilot. It's got a massage parlor in there. That's funny because Indianapolis on the news, as an aside, just had a thing about massage parlors. And they talked about it on the news that they had a year-long investigation into them, that some of them are doing nefarious things. I love that. The cop's like, well, I'm going to have to go back again just to see what's going on. Hilarious. Every time I go to the Loves, I give my free showers to people washing their feet in the men's room. Do they take them? I mean, I got to assume people washing their feet in there. From what, and every once in a while somebody will write to me, Mark, I wash my feet because of a religious, thing where I have to wash my feet so many times a day or whatever. I'm like, well, do you have to do it in a sink? So people have told me that. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know. Kind of keep your feet out of there. I don't know. But that's what people always tell me, that it's not that people don't have a shower. It's some kind of religious thing. So since I don't know what they're talking about, I'm not sure. Either way, I pray over their feet when I see them. I'm like, keep your feet away from me. Pilot and Mill Hall is a dump. Really, it was voted the number one chain truck stop in the United States of all chain truck stops. Flaccid describes my bottom. Time and gravity is cruel. Hopefully not your bacon, though. So at least your bacon doesn't have to be that way. Your bottom, that's another story. I still see Prime in Florida. Prime Floral still. Ballot and right. Let's crisp it up a little bit here. Denny's. Nobody goes to Denny's. You wind up at Denny's. Denny's is delicious. All right, just so you know. We're going to say that right now in case they want to sponsor the show. Half-cooked bacon is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, let's go. Like, we got all this fat. We're chewing on bacon for 15 minutes. George Costanza, did you pass your physical? If fuel keeps skyrocketing, we can starve the stupid out of California. Thank you very much. 1 year ago today, fuel was under 260, but hey, we got rid of 45. Exactly. And thank you very much for that. Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing pictures posted of in the mid sixes for San Francisco for gas for your car. That's crazy. 645 I saw at some station. Thought, wow. No wonder everybody's out there on a bird scooter with their man buns. The Pilot has a manhole annex. That's why it gets voted the best of all time. Parking in the rear. Feet are cleaner than mouse. They brush the teeth. Oh, well, your feet are in your shoes. Mark insisted that his meat in his mouth be rigid. Hear that Denny's got that. Yeah, exactly. Look, I don't want this old flaccid bacon. I mean, come on. If it's all floppy or whatever, come on. Cook it up. The best chain truck stop is the ones where it snows not much, right? Where's Wild Bill today? Usually he's working. At the big money that he makes up there, he'll generally put the work in on that. Then he's got rid of the Brooklyn spaghetti where I am. What is Brooklyn spaghetti? Wow. Brooklyn spaghetti. They throw the plate down and slap you across the face a couple times. Psh, psh, psh. Here's your food, idiot. I mean, what is Brooklyn spaghetti exactly? I've never even heard of that. I've never heard of Brooklyn spaghetti. Can the trucking labor force keep up? There's a big thing by Bob Costello, not related to Abbott and Costello, I don't think, from the ATA that are we going to be able to keep up with the needs of trucking in the future, or is everybody apparently going to die from not getting stuff? So, and then he went on to say that there's 2 times the number of drivers in the United States that have a license than they actually have jobs for. That's awesome. That massage parlor is called Happy Endings. Oh, that's kind of convenient. Mad Max was not just a movie, it was a prediction. It's almost here. It's almost here. When I see Tina Turner out there, it's going to be a problem. Steel Horse 2-year card, so I guess I will do this for a little while longer. You're great. Now you got it made. And you're like, sometimes people are like, oh, I passed my physical again. George Costanza only got a 1 year because of meds, but was 120 over 82. That's perfect. Medication keeps it down. You're all set. That's what they called it. Right. I made the mistake of saying fill her up at the manhole. Oh, you can't do that because it's not self-service there. It's full service. Feet are just bottom hands. Everybody has seen this, and that people will write to me, well, Mark, this is a religious thing. You can't say anything. I'm like, I kind of can. Maybe they could have a feet washing sink that's, lower or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, can't you take a rag and do that or something? I don't know. Perfect pressure. Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. So the medication works, and even though you got a year, it's still worth it. Next, we can make people take a DOT physical that drive these gigantic RVs around the country. I think that'd be something we could do. Brooklyn spaghetti is good food, but the mob is waiting for you outside. Yeah, what is exactly Brooklyn spaghetti? I mean, what do they have on it? I never heard of it. Dashcam Sam, for years I was told about this legendary truck stop in Sturbridge, Mass. When I finally made it up there, it had been bought out by the Pilot. Oh, that would be disappointing. Any truck stop that gets bought up by the pilot is probably disappointing. 120 over 82 is really good. Yeah, it's like perfecto. But to tell them you're on the medication, they only give you a year anyways. Well, that's all right. Most companies pay for it. As far as I know, most companies pay your physical, so go in every year and get a physical, I guess. How about filling up a 2-liter bottle with water and pour over your Tootsies? Yeah, how about do that somewhere else? And plus, maybe as you get older, you can't even get your foot up to the sink. So that's the other problem. I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'd have to change religion just for that. Panniers Junction just got bought up by Pilot. Is this a real place? I feel like I'm Ashton Kutcher's around the corner here. Sturbridge had awesome pancakes. The Poilet, what is happening with that exactly? The Bliss Loves is brand new and going down since they opened. Paul Harris, like most places, right? So it opens up good. It's all clean, and then they don't do anything with it. But for right now, and it only made number 2. So that'll be it. That'll be it for it. I sued Pilot because they have no planes. And we're like, hey, where are all the planes at this place? Where are they? Some of them, some are way better than others. And usually I rate them by how easy it is to get in and out of the place. Like exit 4, I don't know why anybody gets off at exit 4 on 465 in Indianapolis. I see that backed up all the time. It's backed up sometimes up the ramp, all the way around the corner to the truck stops. Who would wait in that kind of line to get to that truck stop? Mark, I have to feel here. I would say really talk to the company and say, you're wasting an hour of my time. And so somebody needs to pay me. I mean, we need to get that on the program here. Waffle House is better than IHOP, and it's better than Huddle House, which I don't have one of those here. Better than Lot Lizard Cuisine, maybe. Depends if they can cook. And which is better than Denny's? Maybe. It depends on the person doing the cooking. Shoney's versus Tim Hortons. Yeah, I don't have a Tim Hortons here. Or Shoney's. It's like there's nothing here. Considering we have Purdue, I don't have anything else. Brooklyn Spaghetti is a fine meal you won't finish because you're going to get whacked. Yeah, nobody can tell me what this is. Just slap your arm, psh, psh, get out of here. Brooklyn Spaghetti. Toilets are better than the Pilot. That's true. CW card, I'm in a lease purchase with Beverly Freight out of Alsip, Illinois. Nice. Alsip. That is a Chicago suburb. 2020 Volvo for $850 a week. $1,100 a week with other fees. Take home $3,500 to $5,000 after expenses. Thoughts? I just don't like getting the truck from the company. The take home to me is not as relevant as that you're getting the truck from the company. And I'm just not a fan of lease purchasing from the people that write you your paycheck, because at some point if they don't like you, they can stop that $3,500 going down to $1,200, and then you have a problem. I sued Petra because Pedro's is better, but like that south of the border, you never saw such a place. I make number 2 almost every day. Where's my list? On the list. Denny's just high price. I can cook breakfast for 3 at home for the price of 1 plate at Denny's. Paul Vines. Well, you can always cook home cheaper. That's not why you go out. I want them to do it. I want to see the fight, the floor show that's going on. There used to be a bar in the parking lot of that Pilot on 465 in Indianapolis. Yeah, that was probably more busier than anything else. But I've seen that line be 20 or 25 trucks long getting off the exit. Do not wait in that kind of line to park. It's wasting your time. And if a company mandates you feel at only a certain place, then you need to talk to them and say, this is ridiculous. If you want me to go here, you have to pay me to sit here. Or just tell them, we're just trying to find someplace else to work maybe. Brooklyn Spaghetti is just spaghetti and meatballs. They called it Brooklyn Spaghetti because back in the day in the 50s, spaghetti and meatballs was a staple like the Waffle House. Oh, okay, so Brooklyn Spaghetti is just spaghetti because spaghetti and meatballs is spaghetti. So why Brooklyn Spaghetti? Maybe people will buy it if we say it's Brooklyn. I don't know. I don't think so. If it's nothing special, I don't see the point in it. I do see people doing these lease purchases like this where they're making $3,500 net after expenses. And yeah, it can be good because the rates are up now. I agree. I really like this guarantee one. I wish I knew more about that. That might be a better deal. But, any place out of Alsip, Illinois, what are the numbers at Beverly Freight? What are their scores? How are people out of service? All these other things. What are what is that kind of thing working there? Are they keeping you busy? I'm just not as huge a fan of it. I guess as a company driver, it's just not my kind of thing. I really like truck stop boiled eggs. Very tasty. Probably rolled in MSG and crack. Keltruster Travels. Yeah, they'll sell, pack of 3 or 6 eggs or whatever in these truck stops, hard boiled eggs, for like $16, whatever they are. When eggs are like, $1.39 a dozen or something. But yeah, they always come with a little pack of salt too, because they're like, oh, you want eggs? Here's some salt. But I agree with you. They're good. And they're a way better choice than a lot of stuff in the truck stop. Remember when Mr. Fuel was Mr. Fuel, not owned by Pilot? They had good cheesesteak sandwiches. That Mr. Fuel was the only place at Exit 4 worth going. Easy parking, not one of the 2 chains on the other side. That pot 2 chains, right? My friend, me and 2 chains hang out. So otherwise, but Mr. Fuel, that Pilot there at Exit 4, horrible. Horrible. I see people packed in there all the time. Oh my gosh, I would never go in there. I love breakfast at Cracker Barrel. Unfortunately, they don't provide food truck parking. That's true. That's true, right? Do the guy in Alsop make more as a company driver? Well, that place probably doesn't have any company drivers. Brooklyn Pizza is the best pizza. Changed my mind. It's not pizza. It's not even really pizza. I mean, you're better off having this, really, I think. Because who wants pizza that you can see through? That's what I'm saying. If you can hold the slice up to a light and see through it, I just don't see the point in it. I just can't see that. Oh, did anybody have a box of stolen heads? This has got to be the weirdest story I've ever read. So a truck is parked in Denver, and of course, guess what gets broken into? And what do they steal? A hand cart, which I love, and also a box of heads, human heads. Why is there a box of human heads in there? Apparently, they were going to a lab for scientific experimentation. Now, I don't know if they were going to put them on another body and reanimate them. That's what I assume. But it doesn't say what they're going to do with them either way. How's that for something when people open that box up and go, wow, how do you turn that back in? I don't know. So if you see a box, it didn't say how many. I'm going to assume there's 6, and they're all looking at each other in there. If you see that box, the police would like you to give them a call in Denver. Problem with the lease purchase is that the company driver makes more money when you factor in benefits. Paul Vines. Maybe. I mean, $3,500 net a week is pretty good. So if you were netting $2,000 as a company driver, which would be really good net after taxes, it just depends. It's probably close at a really good company. You have more autonomy, certainly, as a company driver, meaning you can just go somewhere else without having the hassle of a lease. Some truck stops have deals with restaurants to not sell anything that can be cooked in a truck. Really? Don't sell anything out there that can be cooked in somebody's truck. That's interesting. I've never seen a fight at Denny's or Waffle House. Oh, just type that into YouTube. Denny's fights. Chicago deep dish is better than Brooklyn. Chicago deep dish, otherwise known as pizza, is what we do. Does 2 Chainz know corn pop? Next time I see him, I'll talk to him about that. Didn't Standard get broken up? Yeah, in the early 1900s. But that doesn't mean they can't sponsor a show. Dwight, sorry I'm late. Can we start now? Yes, absolutely. I want pizza that's so hard it can be used as a knife. Yikes. How do you chew through that? J Trucking Lou Malnati's is one of my favorites. They have a Lou Malnati's outside Indianapolis. I haven't gone there yet. I'm going to eventually go get a pizza and bring it home. But it's like an hour each way. The feet washers usually brush their tooth in the public restroom. Yeah, I see people doing that too. That's always been. There's always been drivers doing their, brushing their teeth or whatever in the sink too. I'm like, what are we doing? Come on. Big Dummy must have freaked out when they saw the heads they stole. Keltruster Travels. Can you imagine? So you're a thief, and this is almost should be for the podcast, for why we don't live on Mars. But you go steal, and you're just stealing random stuff. And you're like, oh, we're breaking in. You're like, oh, man, there's only a 2-wheeler and a box in here. Well, let's take it. So they take it, and you hear people there, let me out. But you, and you open the box when you get home, and there's heads in it. I assume 6. It didn't say. It said a box of heads, human heads. Can you imagine opening that box up? Wonder if they'll let us sell ourselves in slavery, or will we be brokered in bulk? No, we just volunteer for it. That's all. That's how it is working right now. You'll send some fresh ones. They would appreciate it. What's a good company? Wow, that's an open thing for sure. Box of have given my regard to Ted Williams. He got froze, though. He's frozen. It didn't say these were frozen. I think these might have been like room temperature heads. The box said we're going to Searing. Let's see if they could put together an autonomous trucker. They're reanimating drivers that have quit. Celtic Rooster Travels. Well-fed women love to start Denny's fights after bars close at night. Yeah. It'll be a couple women usually ripping off everybody's hair and fighting, and then guys got to get involved by throwing chairs around. There's a lot of that. That's why I think Denny's is going to booths, because you can't throw them. You can say that about Brooklyn. He get whacked. Well, with the pizza, probably, because it's so thin. Panios Junction is in Durgan, California. I just can't imagine that name actually living in California. Don't donate your body. Well, apparently, if you donate your head, it gets in a box. Can you imagine the family? So they think they're doing something good, and they've donated the body of their loved one or whatever for scientific research, and then their head ends up on eBay. You're searching through eBay, and there's your uncle or whoever it is. Oh, human head. I mean, come on. Instead of theft, they got charged with 6 counts of murder. Yikes. Yeah, you might lose your head if you donate your body. Look, these heads, I don't know if they can use them anymore. Saw a can of Spam at Love's for $6.19. That's crazy. Spam's what, $2.99 or so for a can of Spam? Is this one of the classic cans with the key on it though? Those are we know those are better. And the light Spam in that, there's no point in that. Well, who would buy that? That kind of stuff doesn't make any sense. So if nobody has the box of those, did you see what they did in Tifton, Georgia? So in Tifton, police put out a Facebook post that said, "Hey, truck drivers, stop parking in the neighborhoods and waking all the neighbors up." Because people are just rolling down neighborhood streets with their semis and just parking in the streets and parking in their driveways and stuff. And truck drivers got all upset about it. Well, the police have been getting complaints from neighbors that turns out truck drivers will start their truck and let it idle for 2 hours in the neighborhood before they take off. And then they'll roll down the streets with their Jake brakes on and stuff, even though they're in a day cab in a residential neighborhood. And they're like, well, truck drivers shouldn't deliver anymore. Hey, how about this? Can you also be a good neighbor? Can we be a good neighbor? If you have to park at your house, start the truck and leave right away. Don't let it sit there for hours idling. This isn't 1953. You can start the truck and just drive away. How about that? Blues Trucker, Grand Theft Noggin. Yeah. Wonder what they'll get charged for. Because what's really the value of a human head? Because that's how you would have to charge them. Bruce's in Bakersfield and the truck stop on Cherry Street outside of Ontario were wild back in the day. Oh, yeah. Ontario's always wild. One side's party side. When I worked as a first call driver, we had a contract with the Organ Bank, Mr. Somewhere. Did any of that including heads? Shoney's Breakfast Buffet is a national treasure. It's bad that they're shutting down. Yeah, I agree. Right. Breakfast buffet, the best. People who wash their feet are from the Middle East. Normally, yes. And so people would always write to me, Mark, it's a religious thing or whatever. Well, I mean, I doubt that it's a religious thing that you have to be in a sink in a bathroom. Okay, so 8 Heads in the Duffel Bag was a movie with Joe Pesci. Yeah, this was a box, but maybe it's like part 2 of that movie. Is the fifth wheel puller a good buy if you can't reach the fifth wheel handle? There's one in this truck. I normally don't have them, but this truck had one in it. I haven't used it though. So maybe in the winter, or whatever. How much are they? $20, $25? Throw it in the truck. Make sure you don't lose it. Make sure you don't lose the thing. See, that's the thing about heads. I may not be an attorney, with these heads. So I don't know what you'd be charged with. I think only the value. What's the value of a human head that's for medical research? It can't be that much. Once the medical students are done with you, they pile the parts in a jumble with many other dead people. Celtic Rooster Travels. Well, here's the thing. People got to learn somewhere. If there's not bodies, they can't just go dig people up like they used to, take them out of their graves or whatever. So, yeah, you're dead. You don't need the parts anymore. That's how I figure it. Let's get yourself donated. And if you're up here, if you're delivering organs for transplant, that's different than a head. I don't think a head's being transplanted. This isn't, Gene Wilder movie. Beverly Freight has been solid thus far, but they prioritize the loads and they offer you with partners before they pull the load from the load board, which could have you taking cheap freight compared to the market. Well, will they let you book your own loads? Like you find a load and they book that load. And that'd be something I think that I would like if I was in your position. But still, if you're taking $3,500 to $5,000 a week net home, even if you pay tax on it and buy medical insurance, it's still pretty good. I like Staten Island spaghetti. Yeah, is each borough have its own spaghetti? Mostly bodies, lots of bodies. Where did they go? So where did you take the bodies? I saw more Amazon trucks in ditches than Swift in the last 2.5 years. Yeah, they're broken down. They're in the ditch. They're having wrecks all over the place because they'll have anybody. They'll have anybody to haul Amazon. You got a truck, you can haul Amazon. Will the UFCD give out membership cards? When we get up members, we can buy cards. We will give out membership cards. That is the goal. Fifth wheel puller minus Happy Hooker. I've seen that name. That's probably sold at the Pantyhose truck stop too, by the way. For every 3 times you park at the Pantyhose, you get a Happy Hooker. Fifth wheel pullers don't work on mine. Have to lift the handle and pull to the left to lock it open. You can kind of finagle it or whatever. Sometimes if the handle's all, blocked up with snow, it'd be nice to get in there with it. Just depends on where the handle is. So tissues, organs, and medical studies. All right. So I can't imagine. Are these just in a refrigerated where like those holes in the back are leaking, fluids out of them? Why can't they wash their feet at the fuel line like everyone else? Yeah. They're already at the fuel line. Just use that. It's got that non-potable water, as it says out there. Human heads are used for outdoor planters for your patio. Don't judge. It's a religious practice. They also light up and are Bluetooth compatible, which is nice. Which is better, roses on a piano or tulips on an organ? That's a question for this coming Saturday. Last Tuesday, we found out my aunt passed in her house for a month. Wow. She was the type that got mad when you checked in on her, but my sister did it once a month. You just talked about that driver. Yeah, there was a driver that they found in the truck, and these happen pretty regularly. I mean, considering how many drivers there are, they probably die a lot, so... Yeah, that's something. Why wouldn't you want somebody to check in on you? Leave me alone. Okay. The thing you die in your house alone, I guess. Although I suppose once you're dead, what's the difference? I mean, honestly, right? So she must have checked in, and then the woman, your aunt, died right after that. And that's sad. My only problem with that would be, did she have a pet? Because the pet is not going to be able to feed itself. It's going to have to eat you. So that would be my only problem with it, People should check on you just to make sure there's nothing wrong with your pet. It's Mr. Plow. New York pizza is the best, Mark, the best. Thank you for that. And New York pizza, I mean, it's not even pizza. It's barely a food product. I don't even think it's been approved by the FDA as something that can be taken internally. As far as I know, I think they have to have a disclaimer on it. Picked up at the place of death or the medical examiner's office, the place of death, the murder scene, you mean, and delivered to funeral homes, crematoriums, or the organ bank. That's pretty good. I would say, look, my friend is only alive because someone donated their organs. He got a liver and kidney transplant a little over a year ago now, and he's doing good, but that's only because somebody donated. And he unfortunately had to wait for someone to die, but it's because someone donated, so I encourage it 100%. Homeless camp with decorations of human heads sounds cool. Wow. They already have that. Every homeless camp kind of looks like that. Chicago pizza is the best. Go ahead and block Mr. Plow. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, come on. It's bad enough that people live where it's warm. That they're going to try and bring their pizza, prejudices here. This is not the place for that. My friend said there should be a bottom in the truck that electronically lowers landing gear and releases the fifth wheel, but then truck drivers will get lazier. Well, they already have all that stuff. So your friend is already right. They already have the fifth wheel release. They've had that forever. Most of our trucks have them, although I don't, ironically. And they have the landing gear, which is operated by air, the ones I've seen. Although I just saw an ad for one that's electric, where you like add a motor to it and it runs Bluetooth. So you can you stand out there with your phone and Bluetooth the thing, and it tells the motor to run the landing gear down. But they have all that stuff already. And will it make drivers lazier? Yeah, but you know why companies do it? Because they don't have workman's comp claims then. Because I have this all the time. I'll go pick up a trailer. It's always in Cincinnati. That's way high. it's a foot over the fifth wheel. So I got to crank and crank and crank. I mean, it's a real problem. And that leads to, problems. Workman's comp problems. Unattended deaths are the worst. Yeah, they've been there for a while. And it always makes me sad that somebody can go days without anyone checking on them. That's what always has surprised me. Although the number of people here said nobody checks on them, which I'm more surprised at. My final instruction, although I guess probably just work when the cat would check on me. Probably the wife too. My final instructions are autopsy A to Z when I go. Yeah, all right, top to bottom. Remember those shrinking head kits? Shrinky dinks. I remember shrinky dinks. You would pop them in the oven. They got tiny. Those of you in your extreme upper 30s or older probably remember shrinky dinks. New York Pizza is greasy cardboard. Yeah, I mean, it says that this is not for medical purposes and, should not be used internally. It says on the boxes. So, Keltruster travels. After 3 days, your body becomes a serious biohazard. Expensive to clean up after. Yeah, you got to call that green trucks like nothing ever happened. Like it never happened. Yeah, you become a problem. No pet. She would call and text throughout the month, though. Okay. I guess once you don't answer, you go check on somebody. Yeah, I mean, look, even if you don't want them to check on you, they should check on you if you have a pet, just so nothing happens to the pet. I'd feel worse about that, probably that I died, and then what happened to the pet? The bodies are wearing cement shoes beneath the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, yeah. They only found the heads. Maybe that was the problem. They just found this box of heads, and then somebody steals them. I once went to a Muslim funeral. They were all washing their feet in the circular sink, but the wall sinks were for hands. But during the prayers, I saw why they washed their feet. They all kneel for the whole service, and their heads were up next to the guy in front. Look, if people have a religious reason, I don't mind that. Whatever people want to believe is okay with me. But, using the sink, it's just not what is done here. So maybe we can adapt what we're doing to, kind of fit in better. That's what I'm saying. If you want to wash your feet 6 times a day, I'm all for it. Anytime a driver wants to wash themselves, I'm for it. Considering how many I stand behind in line waiting for a receipt or whatever, that smell bad. So, JB Hunt stock made me money, $2.02 per share. Oh yeah, we should have bought that at June, July, right in there of 2020. It would have been a good one. Let's see. I'm just landed. Michael Swift. Wow, where were you? Great to donate, not cool to jumble body parts with others. Yes, we are supposed to be civilized. This isn't Auschwitz. Yeah, I know. I mean, just boxes of heads and stuff rolling around in the back of a truck. Come on, have a little respect. How much can I get for my spare kidney? The right price might be worth it. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't let you buy them, although I'm sure that does happen. It does happen. And by the way, my friend has 3 kidneys, which I thought was pretty interesting. They don't take your kidneys out when you need a kidney. They add another kidney. So he has 3 kidneys, which is pretty interesting. 2 don't work and 1 works. Most municipalities' medical examiner's offices contact some logistics out. It can be very lucrative, but I still have nightmares. Yeah, lucrative. How much would that pay? Yikes! New York Pizza has been classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent. Kids, there's a TikTok challenge where kids can either eat that or a Tide Pod, and so that's something too. You legit saw dead people, right? And you still do. I found a dead driver 20 years ago at a Petro in Amarillo. So what happened with that? How did you happen to find someone that had deceased in their truck? I'd love to hear that story. Join K&B and they'll find your body after you finish your reset. Yeah, the thing is, at K&B, you'd never have to worry about decomposing. They're sending cops to check on you every 15 minutes. So no problem. From heads to feet, this channel has it all, and sometimes trucking. That's true. And once in a while, there's even a trucking-related thing. Was the person at the Petro just leaned over their seat or whatever? I mean, or were they leaking like this other person a couple weeks ago? We were talking about a driver pulled up next to a truck, and the truck was leaking and smelled bad. And so they called the police. That's how that driver was found. He'd been in there for a while. They'll find you in your truck dead, half-eaten by my dog. That's the problem, right? I guess at least in a truck, a company truck at least, they would find you because they'd wonder where you were. How's it going, Mark? I started with Mr. P 2 years ago. It was horrible. Dylan, really? Mr. P hasn't written back to me, which rhymes, and I'm very disappointed. When Mr. P puts out an ad at $140,000 a year, that's a lot of money. And when I write in and say, wow, I'm an experienced driver, because I assume it's going to be for experienced drivers, how can I make $140,000 a year there to their recruiting line? And then they don't answer. Is it not real? Are they lying? What's going on? Then I put out a video and they still don't write to me. So I don't know what to say. What was the problem with Mr. P, though? Because normally I don't get any complaints out of Mr. P. I love the taste of New York pizza. It's just not filling enough. Yeah, it's horrible. Landed me a local job running a load 40 miles away from the house twice a night. Oh, not used to being home so much. It's nice. Boxborough, isn't it great? Right, you'll probably not go back on the road. I don't think most people go back on the road if they're going to only run 40 miles a day like that, each way. 800 a call and 2-hour turnaround time. Some side I'd be in the van 20 hours straight. Oh, don't tell me you have to sleep in there with the bodies. The Hool is here. What'd you miss? Well, it's good to see you. How about a box of heads? Kelt Rooster Trails. Poor guy dying alone in his truck. At least Kelly continues to feed his doggy after death. It's right. It's a circle of life. Yeah, the dog probably would eat you too. I know the cat would do it. The holidays were busy. It's not even kidding. They actually say that there's more deaths around Christmas time. Just natural deaths. I think people stress out too much. Beverly Freight starts drivers with experience at 70 cents, and they're running new Freightliners. Yeah, but okay. So for you, owning the truck is one thing. Are the drivers there $10.99 because of your location and what they're doing? Are company drivers $10.99 there? I commented on your video about how it went. Take a look. I made $11,000 in 7 months. Yikes. That is way low. That's even less than Western Express. What happened to $140,000? Do you mean $11,000 a month? They have 55 company trucks, but are those company drivers employees? So an employee has workman's comp, unemployment insurance, W-2. That's the thing. Or are they misclassified, which happens all the time. Yeah, I want you to stop smelling like your dog. Your dog will eat you. Yes, I think they will. What do you think about Elon's big truck? I heard it has a 500-mile range. Think it will replace a diesel? Maybe in quite a while. Certainly it'll start out as a local truck for companies, because that's going to be the way. You'll come back to your location and charge at your home location. It would be a nightmare to have a supercharger network set up for semis, because you'd have to park in that spot. And of course, some owner-operator park in there. I'm moving my truck. I can park wherever I want. So that'd be that kind of problem with it. But I could see it as local trucks. I think he should make them with a lower range to lower the cost maybe a little bit, and use them just as local trucks to start with. I pulled up beside the truck. It was a bad smell. Climbed up on the truck and saw him dead. Oh, that's too bad. So he'd been in there a while. That's a shame. I believe the owner's Ukrainian or Lithuanian. Younger guy was an operator himself. Fair enough. But our company drivers, they're treated legally like company drivers. I've been getting paid a flat rate of $304 at Werner. That's so unusual. Feels nice home weekly. Don't seem to care if I have a trailer issues. Way better than cents per mile. Right, because you're getting paid. Oh, anything is better than cents per mile because you don't have to worry about getting all these miles. I got W-2s to prove it. They would call me 7 or 8 at night, expecting me to go out the night, and then and there. I had 6 different trucks from constant breakdowns. That's so... Well, where's this $140,000 coming from? I found day tripping pays really good. Oh, very nice. I use the most expensive roller Wiener scented perfumes. We always got to smell good. It's called Le Wiener. And it's in the shape you would imagine it's in. We're off the subject. If you get to say anything, talk about the fines, or just 5 or 10 minutes past drivers should not be fined. Talk about the fines for just 5 or 10 minutes past. Drivers should not be fined. 5 or 10 minutes past. I'm not recruiting for them, but if you're interested, drop my name on the application. But our company drivers there. I mean, that's the thing. Are they 1099 or are they legit company drivers with benefits? Or at least a W-2. I guess they don't have to provide benefits. Why did Jeffrey Dahmer say the robbers just stole his hands? Hey, you going to eat that? Ugh, stole his heads. Hungry pets start with fingers and toes and eventually eat your face on unattended death. It's very grim and heartbreaking for the starving pet. Yeah, that's the thing. I would worry about my pet more than anything. I was told he was dead 10 days. He did his laundry and died in bed. Wow. Did he smell like that Snuggle Bear? Probably not. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, that nobody, was somebody, the thing is, you may not know, did somebody report him missing, like this other driver? You know, that's what bothered me more. It's not that he would died somewhere. Everybody's got to die somewhere. It's that nobody reported him missing. You know, nobody was missing him after all that time, and that's probably the worst part of it. Companies have a big, they're stressing now, on time. You got to be on time, show up on time. Does that seem to help? They had a big article about that. Logistics of on time, be on time. From what I hear from people, you show up on time and then you sit there forever trying to get loaded or unloaded anyway. So what is the difference of showing up on time? And why do companies fine you for being late, but then if they hold you 7 hours, you know, they don't give you $100 an hour? This is amazing. Doesn't he want to tell you anything about the job? Just put your name in the application. Exactly. That's like every other place. You know, half the places out there won't give you any information. Hey, just apply. Just ask Mr. P one question, won't answer. Apply. Maybe they were former DM heads, seeing how they process thoughts. Nice. Working by the hour, I have to take it easy and let the hours roll in. I do think that's okay, but I wouldn't. I think that you should drive legit. Meaning, if it's a 65, don't go 55 just to increase your paycheck. That's stealing the same way a company that pays you, you know, household goods miles or whatever. So I think you should drive in an efficient way to get the job done if you're paid by the hour. What happens if you die in the manhole? Already doesn't smell good. They're hard to tell the difference. Well, people would certainly notice that you're not moving or not moving much. ELDs is what you meant. No parking allowed east of I-81. Look at the backup on 95 a month ago. It's too many people. Yeah, there's hardly anything room. All companies, even larger fleets, are advertising 100 a year, even Welfare Express. They're advertising it, but how do you make 100 something? And I agree, Western Express has it. How do you make that there? Western Express should bring one driver out and show their checks. At the manhole, the dead still remain popular. At least people would still enjoy your company. I don't understand. A truck doesn't move for 10 days and no one says anything. No, truck stops don't care. There were people for a year after Celadon went bankrupt that were still sending me pictures, a few pictures every once in a while, of trucks that were still sitting with, like, the tires were like half flat or whatever. A truck stops a Celadon truck. Even the place had gone bankrupt and all that. So no, the truck stops don't seem to care. The truck ran out of fuel to run the air, I bet, and that can be a smelly problem. I tried to hurry through the run and pass everyone off. Are you prepared for the talk yet? I'll never be fully prepared for that. We call it Cincinnati spaghetti. They are kind of, I guess chili is more of the thing there, right? With inflation, 100 is the new 50. Well, with inflation, you know, drivers in the late 70s were making 100, which is well in the 300s today. So that's a problem. Well, sorry to speak freely about the end of life, bring chat down. Mark asked, no, I mean, it's curious. You know, that's an interesting job in the field. Everybody's got all these different ways to make money, and that's an interesting way to do it. Somebody's got to do it. It is one of those jobs that somebody has to do. You know, that might be one of them. I don't know what Bridget would think about that. That's for sure. Probably would want to be fed. I mean, look, there's Batesville Casket out here, too, by me. That says, hey, I think what it says in their trailer, drive slowly, we don't want to meet you yet, or something like that. Yeah. 11 hours of driving is 11 hours. You shouldn't be allowed to go over. If you could go over 5 or 10 minutes, then what would make you quit going over 4 or 5 hours? Oh, right. Look, right, 11 hours is 11 hours. They don't get a few extra minutes, and they've told that here to a few people, too. Oh, you get extra 10 minutes. You don't get any extra time. You should actually be able to make enough money. Run 11 hours, 14 hours a day or whatever, 11 driving. That's plenty. That's half your day. So that should make you plenty of money in the industry at a decent place. And at a decent place it will. You don't have to go over at all. You're 70 and driving. All right. All right. As long as you can pass the physical, you can drive, right? Like there was that guy that was, 89 or whatever a few months ago at that inspection who still drove a truck. So, yeah, absolutely. Right. It definitely demands dignity and respect, especially for the departed. There's not enough of that. The talk, you have yet to have the talk. That's why I'm so nervous about it. That's what makes me so nervous. But I will be. Let's see. I don't have it on here right. But I looked on the website. I guess so. I'm on the website of the Mid-America Truck Show. I'll be there Saturday, the 26th, talking at 11:15 on the Pro Talk stage for an hour. So come on out and see that. We're going to talk about using your logbook to run legal. All the different ways that you can run legal and make the most money in the same amount of time. So without running illegal, that should be a blast. I'll be there Friday and Saturday though at the truck show both days. So come on down. Everybody should come anyways to the truck show, not just to see me, but to see the whole truck show. Everyone I handle like family. I appreciate that, and they probably do too. You saw 3 companies advertising 100 at 55 cents. Wow. How many miles? You rolling 3,700 miles a week? Wow. They just throw that 100,000 out there. And drivers are like, oh, 100,000. Oh, okay, I guess I'll just apply. I assume it's the same as when people were buying cars. Fully a third of the people never even got in the car when they would come and buy a car. Never even started it or anything. So I assume drivers do the same thing with companies. They're like, I need a job. So they go look, 100,000, I'll apply. And they apply. And they just go work there. I mean, that's not really a way to do that. The 140,000 is for teams combined, which actually isn't that great, but that should be false advertising. Oh, well, see, I didn't know that. And it doesn't say that. It doesn't say it's for teams, and that would be splitting for 70 apiece. No, that isn't great at all. Not for a team. The teams can do better than that. Will digital vax passes be ELDs for all? No, maybe. Why not talk about how we should be paid? Well, this was how it went down at the truck show. They have like things you could talk about. Here's where when I applied in the spring, right, this is what we want to do, and then they'll get back in contact with you. Here's what we need people to talk about. We got people talking about this, people talking about that. So to get an opportunity to come there, you got to work in what they need. Applying for a trucking job is like signing up for the Army. They promise you the world, but once you have there, they will not do it. Exactly. 22 hours and plus overtime if I want it. Good enough for me. And look, if it works for you, it works for me. My aim is to be able to say that I drove a truck for 50 years. 7 more to go. Wow. All right. 50, and then what? I mean, there are KLLM drivers that already have 50 million miles. So we got to think about that too, because they're really putting down the miles at KLLM. But what are you going to do at 50? Will that be retirement at that time? Mark, are you going to be dressed in a suit and tie for your talk? I was considering a tuxedo. I actually talked to the wife about that. And tails, top hat, cane, and gloves. So I'm considering tux. I made 40 cents a mile at Mr. P, 25 cents team. When was that, though? I mean, when are we making 40 cents? And when are we splitting 50 cents? Team pay is considerably up from that. Yeah, 22 an hour. Yeah, exactly right. Okay, if that works. Depends where you live on whether that's good. I don't know. I haven't gotten the T from company driver yet, but we'll for sure follow up. I think drivers should make the culture of companies public forum so they know to treat us adequately. They should, and company drivers should be company drivers, not 1099. They're company drivers. Are you buying KFC? Got to spend that overtime from 2 weeks ago somehow. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, right. I'll buy everybody KFC there. So now it'll be known as Mark, I'm your propaganda host? I don't think so. No, we're going to put out legitimate information at the Mid-America Truck Show, certainly, about, maximizing money legally. Because I don't want people, I see pizza here, right? I don't want people to run over hours. I don't like it. But we can make more money in the hours that are already available to us if we just use the log correctly. Mark is a pizza bigot. Well, look, there's only one pizza, so you can't be. It's not like there's other pizzas. It's just the one pizza. Then there's all these other, I don't know, whatever they are. Keltrister Travels. Goodness, thank you very much. So can you wear something clinging and revealing at the truck show? Well, I was thinking the tux, but then the front would be pretty, dipped down pretty far. And I'll have my gold chain with my eagle pendant on it. So it'll be looking good. I plan on looking good. I always thought I'd go to the Men's Warehouse. I mean, you're going to love the way you look. He guarantees it. George Extanza, buddy called me during the show. He couldn't tell how mad I was that he was interrupting the best part of my Monday. Well, goodness, I appreciate that. It's the best part of waking up. All drivers should be paid by the hour. Certainly all local drivers. And really, if every driver was paid by the hour, imagine how that would work. $8 an hour would be advertised. I started driving in 74. Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do at 50 years, though? We're going to 60 years. Well, we're already past 50 years. Almost. We're going to retire? Recruiters be at the truck show? Oh, yes. Huh. They could be targets in a pie throwing contest. There's a whole room full of them, all fighting with each other. I will say is when you get there, get a bag right away as soon as you can, because all the recruiters give you stuff. So you get pens and paper and all kinds of stuff from every place. Yeah, absolutely. Marco's going to dress like Taco, the old 80s singer, putting on the Ritz. The other thing was parachute pants. So I was thinking about that. A tux, is this a formal talk? I thought, I'll just class the place up a little bit. Just show up in a tux. I assume everybody that's speaking there will be in a tux. So that's what I'm assuming. Jeans, chaps, spurs, and flannel shirt and cat diesel hat. Proper truck attire, come out with sweats and shower shoes. And I'll wash my feet right there to get started too. Yeah, I also thought of just chaps, kind of the manhole kind of thing. Wear a tux like Dumb and Dumber. I didn't see that movie. Did they wear a tux in that movie? A candy-colored tux? I was thinking powder blue would probably look pretty good. Yeah. KLLM 50 million miles. They must be their own. They must be own their own trucking companies. Yeah. Well, the KLLM has drivers that have a lot of miles. And even when they're called out on it, not just by me, but a lot of people in the trucking press, they stuck to it. That they have, 10, 12 million mile drivers. Even though I don't think that's going to happen. So, Mr. Somewhere, a members only jacket. Yeah, I used to have a members only jacket. I wonder if I still have that somewhere. Because that was the thing. Work for Mr. P in 2020. Wow. Will Gracie be at the show? There's a PetSmart nearby. I don't know if she'd want to walk that far through the whole show, I'll tell you that. Melrose Park, Illinois, the heartbeat of the western suburbs. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking of. The Chicago area is known for its 1099-ness. The mob, worse in the 50s and 60s, were over Chicago pizza, moving in on New York-style pizza. Style. Right, style. Even though it's not pizza, they have to call it style. JB Hunt, 25 years. The rest was owner-operator. Oh, right. That's not bad. That's a lot of time at JB Hunt. And then the rest owner-operator, and you got it going on. You got a whole career going on. People won't know what to do. Once you're not driving, you're not going to know what to do with yourself. Maybe we could take a vote. No, I better not do that, I guess. I was thinking vote tux or sweats or whatever, but that won't be a good... I won't make it to this year's Mats. I had to take time off this past week to get my dental implants completed. $4,000 each tooth, but absolutely worth it. Wow. And I don't know how many, what are there, 55 teeth in your head or whatever? That's that's a super lot of money. That's like $15 million or something from public school math. Because we have 55 teeth, right? KLLM pay loyal company truckers $1,500 weekly. New truckers with experience get $1,750. Ha! Yeah, that is a lot of companies. With these sign-on bonuses, they pay more for new people than the people that have been there. What is your car channel, Mark? It's just Mark Rumps. It's got about 800 car videos on it. Believe me, they're 2 to 5 minutes or so where I talk about a car that I find in the area. Are there any benefits to 1099? Not that I've found. I mean, if it paid a lot more than a company driver, an employee driver, it might be worth it, but generally they don't pay enough more to make it worth you messing around with all your taxes and everything. Be different, wear a hat with a big feather, leopard print cape, and purple outfit with a cane. Oh, yeah, but people already see me in that around town. So I want to be something that I don't normally wear. I don't get it. You say to log compliant, you always claim on duty time, and then you're going to speak about maximizing your logbook legally. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling anybody to not log legal. So on times when you're on duty, it would have to be on duty. But people can split sleeper and, do other kind of legal things. Absolutely. Absolutely. But don't ever log illegal. Let's get a good laugh on Roller Reader Monday. I appreciate it. KLLM also does business as Billy Big Rigger Incorporated. The drivers must get double miles because they drive for both of those places. Don't eat the chili at the manhole. Just be careful where you're getting it from. After 50, I will go back to full-time as an instructor. I'm a level 2 certified Class A instructor, 15 years. Oh, I see companies advertising for instructors all the time, truck schools or whatever around here. So I think there'd be a big call for that, to be honest with you. Be a real trucker, wear a tracksuit. I go, hey, I'm here from, Benson Grove, Illinois. Wife suggested leather vest and thong. Yeah, I thought that would be a good look too. Average adult has 36 teeth, 144,000. Oh, that's adults average 36 teeth. I thought we had 55 teeth, like 17 on the top and the rest on the bottom. Kellogg tells you when and where to fuel. No thanks. Forget that, because then they'll make you get off at exit 4 or whatever and have to sit there. The most they should do is give you fuel at any Pilot or Flying J, that kind of thing. But you should be able to choose. Mark needs to wear greasy jeans, cowboy boots, a flannel shirt, Peterbilt hat. Huh. Blue Parrot, always. Yeah, everybody walking around down there have a Blue Parrot on. And a Love's fountain drink. Hey, here's my 196-ounce container. DJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods is here. Hey, what's crap, Mark? Any fresh roller dogs on the menu? Always. Always get the cheese-filled ones. You don't want those dry ones. Get them cheese-filled. Truckers who say they want to go to be dispatchers are seriously misguided about how much office staff gets paid. Most of these carriers are hosing their office staff as well. Oh, yeah. Drivers make more than the office staff, and you got to deal with 25 of you, or 50, or however many they have you doing. I, for a brief second, thought about that years ago. I thought, you know what, I'll just go work in the office. And I thought, 30 of me are going to be calling me every day. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that, so no way. I got my implants, was $2,700 per teeth. Wow. That's crazy money. I wonder if 2 pregnant female truckers can split a berth. Ha! Nice. Will your speech be considered on duty time? No, because I'm not being paid for it. And I'm not there at the direction of a motor carrier. So I'm volunteering to come there. So no. How about that? To be a real trucker, you have to have a real nice pair of flip-flops. There'd be something to come down there in flip-flops. And Dashcam Sam, right? Depends on their pronouns, maybe. Exactly. No, but actually thought about whether the speech would be on duty time, but no. I'm not at the direction of a motor carrier. Right? Not being paid, so it's not compensated work. I'm just volunteering there on my own time with my own money. So, no, it shouldn't be considered on duty time. No, absolutely not. I did think about and I think somebody in the audience, if anybody shows up, will ask me that too. Some clever person will be like, oh, are you logging this? No. No, because you're not logging this, I'd say. GP Transco is the prettiest office staff. Did you notice? Acceleration rules. Well, I wasn't there to observe the office staff. Hey, ladies, what's going on? Right. People are there to work. So, although Sergey is a good-looking gentleman, I will say that. How much does Japanese monster movie cost to make? A godzillion dollars. Yikes. I'd like to climb out of my Freightliner wearing a Peterbilt hat. Does anybody notice that? They're like, what are you doing with that hat, man? Come on. What are you trying to do to us? So I still think this is funny, this Tifton, Georgia. Am I right or wrong on this? That's what I wanted to see from people. So people complain that drivers are idling their trucks for hours in residential neighborhoods. They tell the drivers to, hey, how about not park here because it's already illegal. You're not allowed down these streets. And then truck drivers are all like, don't bring anything to Tifton, Georgia. They don't like truck drivers. Is there no responsibility on the driver part when you are in a residential neighborhood? And they had trucks. It was the suburbs, where some goober head parks their semi in their own driveway, but then there's a house right next door. Houses are all, and he's out there idling. So is there no responsibility on the truck driver part? We do whatever because we bring people the things that they want. Or if you live in a residential neighborhood, start the truck and drive away. Don't Jake break it down the residential area. What do you think about that? I'd like to climb out of my Freightliner wearing. Okay, did you snow in neck of the woods today? There was slight snow this morning. Otherwise, it didn't stick, though. They should at least offer a free hotel suite and carry you onto the stage on a pallet. Altruistic Travels. People don't know this. I will be carried in by 4 gentlemen without shirts in a large chair. So that's going to be something there. When I started to carry that big Pilot mug, I had to get a tanker endorsement. I know. Some of them are so big. I mean, when they went to 64 ounces, I thought, oh, man. And I saw 96 ounces. Now there's like one that says 5 gallons. I'm like, wow, that is a huge mug. One guy had to stop so they could replace the Mountain Dew bag underneath the fountain so it could continue to fill his mug up. Stay away from Sergey. He's mine. Oh, dang it. I didn't see no ring on that finger. Actually, I did. I'm planning to retire in 2 years. My CD will expire in 2 years. Oh, okay. And so just let it go at that time. And Hang it up, as they say. Hang the chains up. Dispatchers and terminal managers do not go to heaven when they die. I don't know. Some of them are okay. Why would you idle if you're at home, Dylan? Well, that's the question, isn't it? So what happens is truck drivers, because they just like to idle their trucks, will go out, apparently in this town, start their truck, and then go back inside because you got to idle your truck for 2 hours before you're able to drive it down the street. And so the police department was getting complaints. And they said, hey, could you not park here because it's illegal? They're not allowed to drive down the residential streets. I'll tell you, I'd call them in too. Absolutely. But then all these drivers come out of the woodwork. Hey, we got a right to, which they don't, right? Because they're not allowed down that street. And, we bring everything in, so let's just never come into Tifton, Georgia again. It's just the stupidest thing. When we're doing your speech, put a big plastic jar out there and write tips on it, James. Hey, and I was thinking of getting the plate like they use in a Catholic church and running that down the aisles to the 3 people that are out there. If you're not a real trucker until you help the bandit lose the troopers. For Burt Reynolds, right? When you're giving your speech, will you say where you work? No. They usually have a booth there, though. I'll go aggravate the recruiters there for the company. Because generally they're lying just like the rest of them, and that is true. When I lived in Portland, Oregon, I would park my truck in the driveway, but I didn't idle it. Yeah, look, if you pull up and then turn the truck off, I don't think anybody would be complaining, right? But here, this residential neighborhood, and this happens a lot, drivers will start their truck and then leave it running. They're out there 2 a.m, so they can leave at 4 a.m. Truck's out there idling, waking everybody up. Come on, be a good neighbor like State Farm. Idling a truck may keep Gracie awake. John Zablack. I doubt that. Not much seems to keep her awake. I haven't seen her. Oh, she's sleeping on the couch, right? Exhausted. In order to save fuel, maybe we should have steam-powered tractors. Have a fireman to shovel the coal and stop at truck stop to refill with water and oil the steam engine. At least then drivers wouldn't idle them all the time. I like to climb out of my freight shaker wearing PJs and flip-flops. That's, maybe we could wear that there, although it's not. That's more like going into a Walmart, than anything else. I think a tuxedo is going to have to be the way to go. Gas will only get better if we can stop Putin. Ha! That is a good dad joke. Good afternoon, Mark. Will you be doing your speech in flip-flops to fit in, Alex M? Yeah, I also will not be bathing between now and then to more fit in for that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was thinking of tux. I think that'd be going in a tux, make a good impression there on, I guess, the one person that'll be in the room or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if you have to sign up in advance either, by the way. I don't know if it's like you can just show up. Apparently, the room is going to have 60 seats, plus standing room only. Standing room beyond the 60 seats. So that's what he said to me. So it should be a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Nervous and fun at the same time. So I get on their website. That's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty stoked about it. We'll see how it goes. 1 hour there. So that should be fun for everybody. But I'm not saying for people to, waste. I don't want people to waste time when they're logging. And people can get a lot more miles, which will increase their money in the same amount of time by especially split sleeper, which we just cannot get people to understand here. So I'm hoping to do a better job of explaining it there. Let your toenails grow out too. Yeah, only your big toes so that they can click. You can click on the ground like, Tyrannosaurus is walking around in Jurassic Park as they click on the ground walking around, or, a dog with the big nails. Yeah, where it gets big and yellow too. You want them extra yellowy. Paywalls increase when stuff starts falling off the back of the truck. Well, we already had these heads falling out of the truck. And I do see a lot of videos of people opening the door. That's another thing. When you open the door, step back, right? In case stuff starts flying out of the truck so you don't get killed. Every once in a while there's people injured by that kind of stuff. Wear clean underwear. That's only in case you go to the hospital. So that's the only reason you do that. Mom always said that. I'm sure many parents say that. What if you have to go to the hospital? I'm like, I don't know. Do they check your underwear at the hospital? I don't understand that. Just picture everyone in their vests and flip-flops. Yeah, the wife's like, picture everybody naked in the audience. I'm like, I don't think so. It's going to be an audience full of truck drivers, so I don't know if that's a great plan or not. Maybe. Maybe we'll do something different. I did speeches and stuff in high school, so it should be fun. I was hoping to be like 70,000 people, like, Tony Robbins thing, but 60, I'll take 60 because I'll just have to hope to. I'm planning on paying a few people to come in there so that there's some people sitting there. At least there'll be somebody. Either way, even if nobody comes, the speech goes on either way. So if there's nobody there, we're still talking. And if somebody's there, take a picture and we'll post it on social media. Like these people say, tag me in that picture. I don't know what that means, but we can always do that. Did anybody see this 64-mile-long convoy as I wrap up today that supposedly went around D.C.? Was anybody in the area or held up by this? Because coming across the country, this convoy was 100 vehicles, 150 vehicles at the most, and now we had grown to 64 miles was one report. 64 miles. That's like the whole way around the Beltway. Podcast your speech. I considered recording it. I think that's not a bad idea. I don't know if it would go good as a podcast, but I've considered recording it. Yeah. Digital recorder it. Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, Dougie's a little money for your tux rental. Thank you very much. Goodness, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm down there with all the prom kids getting their tuxes ready. So I'm like, powder blue, cummerbund, everything. You got to do all that stuff. Jokes on the hospital, I don't use underwear. Yeah, hey, welcome. All that hair everywhere, but on top of their noggin. It's same. I hear you. Denny's is junk food. That's why they don't care about flavor. Look, I like Denny's. We have a Denny's here. I like it. Fuel prices in 2 weeks. Oh, at this rate, $4.59. Well, for fuel, for trucks, $5.59. How does anyone stay in business if their target cost increases? Because you get a fuel surcharge. So companies get a fuel surcharge. As it goes up, every week they get more money. And if you're getting decent mileage, like 7+, 7.5 plus, you're okay. You should be okay. Every Tuesday, that's when it should go up. Generally because it's on Tuesday, because that's when the government releases the average price every week. And so then the fuel surcharge is usually tagged to that price. So every week you'd get an increase. No problem. So people getting 7.5 should be okay. And really the rates right now are good. So even if you're behind on that, if you're still getting $3 a mile, you can still make money even at $5 a gallon. Okay, we're a hospital gown. Wow. One that those tie in the back ones, boy, that wouldn't be something people want. Denny's is junk food. That's why they don't care. Oh, I got that right. My neighbors used to hate me years ago when I would bring home the Ford 9000 at 4:30 in the morning. Would leave and make that DD8 318 talk. Well, as long as you don't sit it there running for an hour, that's what these people are having a problem with, and I agree with them. You're living. This is a residential neighborhood. This is not an industrial park. So if you want to bring your semi, shut it off as soon as it gets in the driveway. So you left the DC area this morning, didn't see anything. No 64-mile-long convoy. I mean, this seems like something that it wasn't even on like regular news sources. Just like Kanye, just like truckers now, he's a fashion trend to be blue collar or look to be. Huh? We're a fashion trend now? Kanye. I'll also go buy half of Wyoming, like Kanye. People lined up along 94 bridges in Wisconsin last week supporting the convoy. I would see some on bridges. There were pictures of that kind of stuff where people are up on bridges and stuff. I agree with that. But I wasn't seeing any 60-mile-long convoys. I mean, they had one where they stopped at one place, didn't even fill up a truck stop. So it would take a lot more than that for a 60-some-mile convoy. $4.39 in upstate New York. I guess $3.99, I feel pretty good. Picture everybody naked and wearing flip-flops in the audience. Wilbon, problem is this is a truck show, so it's going to be mostly truck drivers. And so, I don't know if you want to picture, 60 naked truck drivers. Maybe. Depends who they are, I guess. It's like, going to Roselawn, Indiana, which is the nudist colony here in northern Indiana. You think, oh, you're going to go in here, it's going to be, all Christy Brinkley's walking around and, all that. Yeah. It's not. Turns out it's not. People make the mistake of wearing jeans when they're chaps, with their chaps at the manhole. Yeah, you don't need the jeans, just the chaps. Location and amount of showers has no effect on how often a trucker takes a shower. Yeah, it doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to. And that's always disappointing. I feel like I took a lot more showers than most drivers. And I've talked to people, even teams. Oh, yeah, every 3 or 4 days. I'm like, why every 3 or 4 days? You must get enough fuel to shower regularly. I tried to shower every day, if not no more than every other day. would never go longer than that. I just didn't like it. I didn't want to feel like, the job makes you less than a human, basically. You're all grimy or whatever. You just feel all weird. How about take a shower every day or as often as possible? No more than every other day. There's no excuse. Stop and get a shower. You stop for 10 hours. Go park somewhere and get a shower. I mean, don't reduce your quality of living because of a job. Seriously, why do so many showers not keep a steady temperature and water pressure? That sudden rush of cold water is awful. Well, you got to fire it up and then wait. You learn that, right? Don't go right in there. Oh, you get that turned on and then, kind of wait for it. Heck, you do that at home. Every company gets a rack negotiated price at the truck stop. When I was a lease operator, I had a list. Even though Love's may be the same price on the pump from Kingston, it can vary 58 cents. I assume that, companies or whatever get some kind of rate. That's why they have you go Love's or Pilot or whatever. So they're getting a discount. They're getting a fuel surcharge. They should be okay. I shower 6 times a month. Yikes. How's the move going? Nothing yet. Maybe spring. Can't find anything decent down there to go to work in. Convoy is huge. Mainstream media does not want to cover it. It goes against their narrative. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not even really finding many pictures from Convoy people. They could certainly put out tons. If there's 64 miles worth of people in a convoy, they should each be posting stuff about it. Every one of them with the same tags. They ought to all post with the same thumbnails. Everybody posts a video with the same thumbnail. That can't be ignored. It would be put out there just by the algorithm. This is why some companies tell you where to fuel, because it varies and can actually get from one station to another a lot cheaper 100 miles apart. The thing is about a certain truck stop, it's super aggravating. And I think the company should maybe eat a little bit of that cost for convenience. Because look, if I got to wait an hour at a truck stop, I guess the problem is it doesn't cost the company anything to have you sit there and wait. That's the thing of it. It just takes my time up. I make less money, but the company saves money. I don't like it. If drivers were paid by the hour, companies would have a lot more incentive to keep you moving. And they would let you fuel where it's more efficient. I fuel at the place that's fastest for me. That's why I go to the Petro, because it's on my side of the highway. I don't stop there because I like the Petro. It's on my side, and I only get off right there and get right back on. I don't have to go over the highway. Actually, think about that, because it's just wasting my time. Did the math at 64 mile long convoys, 4,500 trucks. That would be impressive, right? And that would be pretty impressive. 4,000. There's no way. There's not that many cab overs left in the United States. There's no way there's 4,000. Well, it wasn't just trucks, by the way. They did say there were cars and pickup trucks and stuff like that, which you did see some of that with flags. So it'd be even more vehicles then, because they're smaller to roll and see, unless they were way spaced out. They're half mile apart each. I saw people in Ohio on bridges with flags. I gave them the big air horn honk. All right. There's been some of that. A golden shower costs more money. Depends where you get it from. Soap on a rope is a requirement showering at the manhole. Yes, always. Always take that with you. They're in prison. In Northeast Texas, regulars $3.69, diesel's $4.19. That's even cheaper than here. I was glad Meyer's still holding $3.99. I thought it'd be $4.09 today. Watch Sasnak YouTube channel about the convoy. All right, Sasnak. Captain Cleaner Winner have to catch the replay as Cash King says roll down the driver's side window, put her in the river. Yeah, I guess so. Is diesel really 7 in California and Nevada? At some places it is. Some places it's approaching 7. That's why most companies really always have said do not fuel in California. They want you to fuel only on the edge. We could fuel 50 gallons, their max. Just enough to get out. If you needed more than that, you had to call them and explain why. If you're going up and down the state or whatever, and then they would open it up, and they didn't want you fueling in California. That was their only thing, because it just was just too much money. Many years ago, there was a Naked City News Colony in northern Indiana. That's in Roselawn, right? I may have traveled there as a youngster, just to check it out, as a teenager. You should finish your career with a super premium company, George was, and I should. That's true. Got to make some merch, Mark, for the convention. Okay, we can think about that. That's not a bad idea, right? I want people just to come, for free. Anybody that sits in the room would be super awesome, though, either way on that. Let's see, where'd that go? Oh, I also want to thank Fleet Nav Systems for being here today, as always. And if you're going to wear it naturally, make it a parrot. If I can, there's my bell. That's better. Make it a parrot. Always put something on your head. as we head on out of there today. And by the way, Jay might actually be there. So he said he was thinking about it. We may see Jay from Auto Transport Intel there at the convention, so say hi to him. Don't know if he's coming yet to a convention at the Mid-America Truck Show. That's Kansas spelled backwards. Nice. Roller Wiener merch. Yeah, we'll pass those. Roller Wiener, plush pillows. That's what I thought about at one point. So, but I do have to get out of here and head on into work. So, Mr. Somewhere, thank you for being here. John Zablack, thanks for coming in. Let's see here. C.W. Carty, thank you for being here. What if the convoy has to stop at Scales? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure. Few states that are turning off the bypass. Look, if you're in a commercial truck, at some Scales, you'd have to stop. Yep. Set up and sell roller wieners. Oh, yeah. Then the people that are selling food there would give me grief about it. Manhole soap on a rope in the shape of a roller wiener. There's not much parking around DC in a normal day and add 4,500 trucks. Yeah, exactly. Acceleration Rules was here. Thank you. Kelt Rooster Travels, thank you for being here today. Let's see. Roy Mashburn was here today. Kelly Patterson. Let's see. I had IDI Ford V8 was first the other day. Followed closely by Million Miler. And then George H.W. Bush first today. Thank you for that. Jordan B., thank you for being here. Let's see. It's Mr. Plow is here. Let's see. Where am I going here? Oh, Wilbon 1879. Thank you for being here. Well, Doggies, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. Alex M., thank you for being here. We're going to see what fresh disaster awaits me today at work. Michael Swift, thank you for being here. That's all right. We can take it. Flat Highway, I appreciate it. We're looking forward to Mid-America, though. I do hope to see everybody there. So come on down to the truck show. It's a great event. Even if you're not coming there to see me, come to the truck show. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods, thank you for being here. George Costanza was here today, and let's see, Dashcam Sam was here today, so I'm going to head up. Major Barrett was here today, too, and so I have to go over to here, which is right there it is. Oh, right. And I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll be back, of course, with more videos and more other things as the week goes on, and otherwise, be safe out there and get some gas before it gets too